Your Excellency President Xi Jinping,
尊敬的各位国家元首、
Your
政府
Excellencies,
首脑、
heads of state and government,
各位国际组织负责人、
heads of international
各国代表、
organizations,
各位来宾、
representatives of various countries,
女士们、
distinguished
先生们、
guests, ladies
朋
and
友们，
gentlemen,
大
friends.
家上午好。
Good morning.
今年是习近平主席提出
This year
共
marks
建“一带
the
一
10th
路”
anniversary
倡议
of the
10周
Belt and
年。
Road Initiative put forth by President Xi
10年来
Jinping.
共建“一带一
Over
路
the ” past
国际合作
decade
取得丰硕成果，
Our joint efforts
为加强全球
with
互
international
联互通
partners，
促进世界经济
has
增
yielded
长，
fruitful outcomes,
推动各国
strengthening
共同发
global
展
connectivity,
做出了
promoting
积极
world
贡献。
economic growth, and boosting common development for
今
all
天
countries.
第3届“一带一路”国际合
Today,
作高峰论坛在北
The
京
third
隆
Belt and
重
Road
开幕
Forum。for International Cooperation
来
is
自
held
世界
here
各
in
地的
Beijing.
“一带一路”参
From
与
across
者
the、world,
建设
Belt
者、
and Road
贡
promoters,
献者
participants,
齐
and
聚北
contributors
京，
have come
共
together
同回顾
to
合作
take
进展，
stock of
总
cooperation
结合作
progress,
经验，
sum up experience,
携手开
and
辟
open up
更美好的
an
未
even
来。
brighter future.
下面，
Now,
让我们欢迎中
please
国国家
join
主
me
席习近
in
平
welcoming
发表主旨
the
演讲。
keynote speech by President Xi Jinping. Your Excellencies, heads of state
政府首
and
脑、
government,
各位国际组织负责人、
heads of international organizations,
各国代表、
representatives of various
各位来
countries,
宾、女士
distinguished
们、
guests,
先生们、
ladies and gentlemen,
朋友们，
friends.
今天我们在这里
Today,
举行第
We are meeting
3届
here for the opening ceremony of the third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation.
我谨代表中国政府
On behalf of the Chinese
和中国
government
人民，
and Chinese people,
并以我个人的名义，
and in my own name,
对各位嘉宾
I wish to
表
extend
示热
a
烈
very
欢迎。
warm welcome to you all.
今年是我提出共
This
建
year
“一带一路”倡议，
Marks the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative I proposed.
提出这一倡议的初心
The BRI,
是借鉴
drawing inspiration from the ancient Silk Road
以互联互通
and
为主
focusing
线，
on enhancing connectivity,
同各国加强
aims to enhance
政策沟
policy,
通、设施
infrastructure,
联通、贸易
trade,
畅通、资金融
financial,
通、民心相
and
通，
people-to-people connectivity,
为世界经济增长注入
inject
新
new
动力，
impetus into the global
为
economy,
全球发展开辟新空间，
create new
为
opportunities
国际
for
经
global
济合作
development,
打造新平台。
and build a new platform for international economic
10年来
cooperation.
我们坚守
Over these
初
10
心，
years, we have
携手
stayed
同
committed
行
to this founding mission.
推动“一带一路”
Thanks to our
国际合
joint
作
efforts,
从
Belt and
无
Road
到
International
有
Cooperation
蓬
has
勃
gotten
发
off the
展
ground,
取得
grown
丰硕
rapidly,
成果。
and produced fruitful outcomes.
一带一路合作从亚
Belt
欧
and
大
Road
陆
cooperation has extended
延伸到
from the Eurasian continent
非洲
to
和拉
Africa
美
and Latin America.
150多个国家
More than
30多个国际组
150
织
countries and over 30 international
共建“一
organizations
带一路”
have
合作
signed
文
Belt
件
and Road cooperation documents.
举办3届“一带一路”国际合作
We have
高
held
峰
two
论坛
sessions of the BRF before
成立
this
了
one,
20
and
多
have
个
established
专业领域
over 20
多边
specialized
合作
multilateral
平台
cooperation platforms under the BRI.
一带一路合作从大协
Belt and Road cooperation has progressed
进入
from sketching the
工具化阶段
outline to filling in the details,
把规划图转化为
and
实
blueprints
景图，
have been turned into real
一大批
projects.
标志性项目和惠
A
民
large
生
number
的
of
小
signature
而美项
projects
目
and small yet
落地
smart,
生根。
people-centered programs have been launched.
一带一路合作从硬联
Belt and
通
Road cooperation has
扩
expanded
展到
from
软
physical
联通
connectivity to institutional
共
connectivity.
商、共建、共享。
Important guiding principles
开放、
for high-quality
绿色、
Belt and Road cooperation
廉洁、
have been laid down, which include the
高标准
principle
惠
of
民
planning
生
together, building
可持
together,
续
and benefiting together, the
成为
philosophy of open, green,
高质量
and clean
共建一带
cooperation,
一路的
and the
重
goal
要
of pursuing
指导
high
原
standard,
则。
people-centered, and sustainable cooperation.
10年来，我们致力于构建
Over these 10 years,
以经
we have
济走
endeavored
廊
to
为
build
引
a
领，
global network of
以
connectivity
大通道
consisting
和
of
信
economic
息高速
corridors,
公路
international
为骨架
transportation routes, and
以铁路
information highway,
公路
as
机
well
场
as railways,
港口
roads, airports,
管网为依
ports,
托
pipelines, and power grids,
涵盖陆
covering the land,
天
the ocean,
网
the
的
sky,
全球互
and the
联
internet.
互通网络，
This network
有效促
has
进了
boosted the
各
flow
国
of goods,
商品、资金、
capital,
技术、
technologies,
人员的大
and
流
human resources among countries
推
involved,
动绵亘千年的
and injected fresh
丝绸之
vitality
路
into the
在新
millennia-old
时代
Silk Road
焕发
in the
新
new
活力。
era.
奔行在铁路上的列车，
Trains
驰骋
speeding
在
along
公
rail
路上的
tracks,
汽车，
automobiles running
连
on
通各
roads,
国的空中航班，
flights connecting different countries,
劈波斩浪的货轮，
cargo ships breaking waves,
快捷方便的数字电商
and，e-commerce bringing so much
成为
convenience to
新时
people.
代
They
国
have
际
all
贸易
become
的
symbols of
国流
international trade in the new
翻
era,
译。
just like camel caravans and the
一
sailing
座座
ships
水电
were
站
for the past age.
风电站、光伏电站、
Hydro, wind, and solar
一条条
energy-based power
输油
plants,
输气管道，
oil and gas
越来越
pipelines,
智能通达的输电网络，
and increasingly smart and
让能源
interconnected
短
power
缺不
transmission
再是发
networks
展的瓶颈，
are removing the development
让发展中
bottleneck
国
caused
家
by
绿色
energy
低碳
shortage
发展的
and
梦
fulfilling
想
the dream
得以
of
点
developing
亮，
countries to achieve
成
green
为
and low
新时
carbon
代可
development.
持续发展的绿洲。
These energy projects
灯塔
have become the oasis and lighthouse for sustainable development
现代
in the
化
new
的
era.
机场和码头，
Brand new airports and
通
harbors,
畅的道路，
smooth
拔地而
roads,
起的经贸产
and
业合
newly
作
built
园区，
industrial parks for business
催生
cooperation
新的
have
经济走
created
廊，
new economic corridors
激发新的
and new
增长动
growth
力，
drivers.
成为新时代的商贸
They have become
大道
the trading routes
驿站。
and staging posts of the new era.
精彩纷呈的文化年、
Rich and colorful
艺术节
cultural years, art
博览
festival,
会、
expos,
展览
and
会，
exhibitions,
独具特色的鲁班
the
工坊、
Luban workshops,
丝路一家亲、
people-to-people exchange programs like the Silk Road Community Building Initiative and the Brightness Action
不断
Program,
深化的民间组织、
and deepening exchanges between non-governmental organizations, think tanks, media
奏
organizations,
响新
and the
时代
youth.
的丝路
All
乐
these
章。
flourishing activities have composed a symphony of friendship in the new era.
新冠疫情爆发后，“一带一路”成为
When
生命
COVID-19
之路
struck,
和健
the
康
Belt and Road became a life-saving road.
中国向各国提
China
供了
provided
上百亿个
more than
口罩
10 billion masks
和23亿剂
and 2.3 billion doses of vaccines to other
同
countries,
20多个国家合作生产
and
疫苗
jointly produced vaccines with over
为
20
共建
countries,
“一带一路”合作伙伴抗击疫
making a
情
special contribution
做出
to
独特
BRI
贡
partners'
献。
efforts in fighting COVID-19.
中国在疫情最严峻的时候
And，China also received
也得到
valuable
了
support from more
70多
than
个国
70
家的
countries
宝贵
when
支
it
持。
was hit hard by the pandemic.
共建“一带一路”，坚持
Belt and Road cooperation
共商、
is based on the
共建、
principle of planning
共享。
together, building together and benefiting
跨越
together.
不同文明、
It transcends differences
社会
between
制度，
civilizations, cultures,
发展阶段
social
差异。
systems, and stages of
开辟
development.
了各国交往的新路
It has
径，
opened up a new
搭
path
建
for
起
exchanges among
国际
countries
合作的
and
新框
established
架，
a new framework for
汇集
international
着人类
cooperation.
共同发展
Indeed,
的
the BRI
最大
represents humanity's
公约数。
joint pursuit of development for all.
女士们、先生们、朋友们，
Ladies and gentlemen, friends,
过去10年取得的成绩弥足
our
珍
achievements
贵，
in the past decade
经
are
验
truly
值得
remarkable,
总结。
and there is so much we can draw from them.
我们深刻地认识到，人类
We have
是
learned
相
that
互依存
humankind
的命
is a
运共
community
同体。
with a shared future.
世界好，中国才会好。
China can only do well when the
中国
world is
好。
doing well.
世界会更
When China does well, the world will get even better.
通过共建“一带一路”，中
Through
国
Belt and
对外
Road
开放的
cooperation,
大门，
China
越开越
is
大。
opening its door even wider to
内
the
陆地
world,
区从后卫
with its inland
变成
regions
前锋，
turning from
沿
fullbacks
海地区
into forwards,
开放发展，
and coastal
更上
regions
一层楼。
scaling new heights in their opening up.
中国市场同世界市场的联系
China's
更
market
加紧密。
has become even more closely integrated with the global market.
中国已经是140多个
China
国
has
家
become
和地区的
a main trading
主要贸
partner
易伙伴，
of more than 140 countries
是
and
越来越
territories
多国家的
and a
主要
primary source
投
of
资来
investment
源地。
for more and more countries.
无论是中国对外投资，还
Both
是外
Chinese
国
investment
对华投
overseas
资，
and foreign
都
investment in
彰显
China
了友谊和合
have
作，
boosted friendship,
体现着
cooperation,
信心
confidence,
和希望。
and hope.
我们深刻认识到，只有合作
We have
共赢
learned that win-win
才
cooperation
能办成事。
is the sure way
办
to
好
success
事
in launching
办大事
major initiatives that benefit all.
只要各国有合作的愿望，协调
When
的
countries
行动，
embrace cooperation
天堑
and act in
可
concert,
以变通途，
a deep chasm can be
陆
turned
锁
into
国
a
可
thoroughfare.
以变成陆连，
Landlocked countries can become
发展的
land-linked,
洼地可以变
and a
成繁
place
荣
of
的高地。
underdevelopment can be transformed into
经
a
济发
land
展
of
快一些的
prosperity.
国家，也要
Countries
拉一
taking the
把
lead in economic
暂时走
development
在后面的
should give a hand to their partners who are
只要
yet
大
to catch
家
up.
把彼此视为朋
We should
友，
all treat each other
和
as friends
伙伴
and partners,
相互尊重，
respect
相互
and
支
support each
持，
other,
相互成就。
and help each other succeed.
赠人玫瑰则
As the
手
saying
有
goes,
余香，
When you give roses to
成
others,
就别
the
人
fragrance lingers
也
on
是
your hand.
帮助
In other
自己
words, helping others is also helping
把
oneself.
别人的发展视为威胁，
Viewing others' development as a threat,
把经济相互依
or
存
taking economic interdependence as a risk,
不会让自己生活的
will
更
not
好。
make one's own life better or speed up one's development.
我们深刻地认识到，和平合作
We have learned the
开放
Silk
包容
Road spirit of peace and
互学互
cooperation,
鉴
openness and
互利共
inclusiveness,
赢的丝路
mutual
精
learning, and mutual benefit
是共建“一带一路”
is the
最
most
重要的
important source of
力量源
strength
泉。
for Belt and Road cooperation.
我曾经讲过，古
I
丝
once
绸
said
之路之所以
That the pioneers of the ancient Silk Routes
靠的不是
won their
战
place in history not as conquerors with warships,
而是国队
guns, horses,
和善意。
or swords. Rather,
不
they are
是
remembered
坚
as
船
friendly
和利炮，
emissaries leading camel
而是
caravans
保
and sailing
障
ships loaded
和友谊。
with goods.
共建“一带一路”，注重的是
Belt and Road
众人
cooperation
拾柴
is
火焰
based on the
高
belief that flame
互帮
runs
互助
high when
走得
everyone
远，
adds wood to the fire,
崇尚的
and that
是
mutual support can get
自
us
己
far.
过得好，
Such
也让
cooperation seeks
别人
to deliver a good life not only to people of just
践
one
行
country,
的是
but to
互联
people
互
in other
通
countries as well.
互利互惠，
It promotes connectivity,
谋求的是
mutual benefit,
共同
common
发展。
development, cooperation, and win-win outcomes.
不搞意识形态对立，
Ideological
不搞地
confrontation,
缘政治博弈，
geopolitical rivalry,
也不搞集团政
and
治对
bloc
抗，
politics are
反
not
对
a
单
choice
边制
for
裁
us. What we
反
stand
对
against
经济胁迫，
are unilateral
也
sanctions,
反对
economic
脱
coercion,
钩断链。
and decoupling and supply chain disruption.
10年的历程表明，
What has been achieved in the past 10 years demonstrate that Belt and Road cooperation is on the right side of history.
走
It
的是
represents the
人
advancing
间
of our
正道。
times, and it is the right path forward.
我们要有乱云飞渡仍从容的定力，
We need to remain clear-eyed,
本着对
and
历史、对
undisturbed
人
in
民、
a
对世
volatile
界
world.
负责的态度，
and we need to be keenly aware
携
of
手
our
应对各种
responsibility
全
for
球性
history,
风险
for the people,
和挑战，
and for the world.
为
We
子
should
孙
jointly
后代
address various global risks
创
and
造
challenges
和
and
平、
deliver a bright future
发展、
of peace,
合作、
development, cooperation,
共赢的
and mutual
美好未
benefit
来。
for future generations.
女士们、先生们、朋友们，
Ladies and gentlemen, friends,
当前世界之变、
changes of the world,
时代
of
之
our
变，
times, and
历史
of
之变
historical significance
正以
are
前所
unfolding
未有的
like
方式
never
展
before.
开。中国正在以中国式现代化
China is
全面
endeavoring
推
to
进
build itself into
强国
a
建设
stronger country
民族复
and
兴的
rejuvenate the Chinese nation on all
我们
fronts
追求的
by pursuing Chinese
不是中
modernization.
国独善其身的
The
现代
modernization
化
we are pursuing is not
而
for
是期
China
待同
alone,
广大发展中国
but
家
for all
在内
developing
的各
countries
国一道
through our joint
共同
efforts.
实现现代化。世界现代化
Global modernization
应该是
should be
和
pursued
平发
to
展的现
enhance
代化，
peaceful development
互利合作
and
的
mutually
现代化，
beneficial cooperation,
共同繁荣的现代化。
and bring prosperity to all.
前行道路上
On our way
有
forward,
顺
we
境，
will encounter
也会有
both
逆风。
headwinds and tailwinds.
我们要坚定
We need
坚
to
持
stay
目
focused
标导向、
on our goal,
行动导
take
向，
results-oriented actions,
咬定青
persevere
山不放松，
and
一
keep
张
moving
蓝图
forward
绘到底。
until our goal is met.
中方愿同各方深化“一带一路”合作
China will
伙伴
work
关
with
系
all parties involved
推动共
to
建
deepen Belt and
“一
Road
带一路”
partnerships
进入
of
高质
cooperation,
量发展的
usher
新阶
this
段，
cooperation into a new stage of
为
high-quality
实现世
development
界各国的现代化
and make relentless
而做
efforts
出
to
不懈
achieve
努力
modernization for all countries.
在这里，我愿宣
Now,
布
I wish to
中国
announce
支持高质量共建“一带一
8
路”
major
的
steps
8
China
项
will
行
take
动。
to support our joint pursuit of high-quality Belt and Road cooperation.
一、构建“一带一路”立体
First,
互联互通网络。
Building a multi-dimensional Belt and Road connectivity network.
中方将加快推进
China will speed up
中欧班列
high-quality development of the China-Europe Railway Express,
参与跨里海
participate in the Trans-Caspian International Transportation Corridor,
办好中欧班列国际
host
合
the
作
China-Europe
论坛
Railway Express Cooperation Forum,
会同各方搭建
and make joint efforts to build a new logistics
直达运
corridor
输为支撑
across the
的
Eurasian
亚
continent,
欧大陆
linked by direct
物流
railway
新通道。
and road transportation.
积极推进丝路海运
We will vigorously integrate
港航贸一
ports,
体化发展，
shipping, and trading services under
加
the
快
Silk Road
陆海
Maritime,
新通道，
and accelerate the building
丝绸之
of
路
the
建
new
设
international land-sea trade corridor and the air Silk Road.
二、支持
Second,
建设开放
supporting
型世界
an
经济。
open world economy.
中方将创建
China
丝路
will
电商
establish
合作先行
pilot
区
zones for Silk Road
同
e-commerce
更多国
cooperation,
家商签
enter into
自由
free trade
贸易协
agreements
定
and investment protection treaties
投资保护
with
协定
more countries.
全面取消制造业领域
We will
外
remove
资准入
all
限
restrictions
制措施，
on foreign investment access in the manufacturing
主
sector.
动对照国际高
In
标
light
准
of
经贸规
international
则
high standard economic and trade
深入
rules,
推进
we will further
跨境
advance
服务贸易和
high standard
投资
opening up
高水
in
平开
cross-border
放
service trade and investment,
扩大数字产品
expand
等市
market
场
access
投入
for digital and other products,
深入国有企业数字经
and
济
deepen reform
知识产
in
权
areas including
政
the
府采购
state-owned
等领域改
enterprises,
革
digital economy, intellectual property,
中
and
方
government
将
procurement.
每年举办
China will
全
hold
球数字贸
the
易博
Global
览会
Digital Trade Expo annually.
未来5年，即2024
In the
年
next
至
5 years,
2028年，
that is 2024
中
to
国货
2028,
物贸易、服务贸易、
China's total
进
trade
口额、
in
进
goods
出
and
口额
services
有望
is expected to exceed
32万亿
$32
美
trillion
和5万亿美
and $5 trillion, respectively.
三、
Third,
开展务实合作，
carrying out practical cooperation.
中方将统筹推进标志性工程
China will
和
promote
小
both
而美民
signature
生项目
projects and small yet smart livelihood
中国
programs.
国家发展银行、开发
The
银行、
China
中
Development
国
Bank
国家开发银行、中国进出
and
口
the
银行
Export-Import Bank of China
将各设立
will each set up
3500亿
a
元人民币
350 billion
融资
yuan
窗口，
financing window.
丝路基金新增资金
An additional
800亿元
80 billion
人
yuan
民币，
will be injected into the
以
Silk Road
市场
Fund.
化、商业化方式
Together, they will support
支持
BRI
共建
projects on the basis of
一带一路
market
项目。
and business operation.
本届高峰论坛期间，
Cooperation agreements worth $97.2 billion have been concluded
达成了
at the CEO
972亿
conference
美元的
held during this
项
forum.
目合作协议。中方还将实施
China will
1000
also
个小
carry
型
out 1,000
民生援助项
small-scale
目，
livelihood assistance projects
通过鲁班工坊等推进中外
and
职业
enhance
教育合
vocational
作，
education cooperation
并从各
through
方加强
Luban
对共
workshops
建
and
一带
other
一路
initiatives.
项目和人员
We will
安
also
全
step up joint efforts to ensure the safety of BRI projects and
4
personnel.
促进绿色发展。
Fourth, promoting green
中
development.
方将持续深化绿色基建、
China will continue to
绿
deepen
色能
cooperation
源、
in areas
绿
such
色
as green
交通
infrastructure, green
等领域
energy,
合作，
and green transportation,
加大对“一带一路”绿色发展
and
国
step
际
up
联盟
support
的支
for the
持，
BRI International
继
Green
续举办
Development
“一带一
Coalition.
路”绿色创新大会，
China will continue to hold
建
the
设
BRI
光伏
Green
产业对
Innovation
话交
Conference
流机制和
and
绿色
establish
低碳专
dialogue
家
and
网
exchange
络，
mechanisms for the solar industry
落
and a
实“一
network
带
of
一路”
experts on
绿
green
色
and
投
low
资
carbon
原则，
development.
到
China will implement
2030
the green
年
investment principles
为
for
伙
the
伴
Belt and
国
Road
开展
and provide
10万人
100,000 training
次
opportunities for partner countries by 2030.
5.
Fifth,
推动科技创新。
advancing scientific and technological
中
innovation.
方将继续实施“一带一路”科技创新行动计划，
China will continue to implement the Belt and Road Science,
举
Technology
办
and
首届
Innovation
“一带一路”
Cooperation
科技交
Action
流大
Plan,
会，
hold the
未来
first
5年
Belt and Road Conference on
把
Science
从
and
各方共
Technology
建的
Exchange,
联合实验室
increase the number
扩大到
of
100
joint
家，
laboratories built with other parties to
支
100
持
in the next
各国
5
青年
years,
科学家
and support
来华
young
短期
scientists
工
from
作。
other countries to work on short-term programs in
中方
China.
将在本届论坛上
At
提
this
出
forum, China will put forward
全球
the
人
global
工智
initiative
能，
for artificial intelligence governance
愿同各国加强交
We
流
stand
和
ready
对话，
to increase exchanges and dialogue
共
with
同
other
促进
countries
全球人
and
工
jointly
智能
promote
健康有
the
序、
sound, orderly,
安全
and
发展。
secure AI development in the world.
6. 支持民
Six.
间交往，
Supporting people-to-people exchanges.
中方将举办
China will host the Liangzhu Forum to enhance dialogue on civilizations with BRI partner countries. In addition to the Silk Road International League of Theaters, the Silk Road International Arts Festival, the International Alliance of Museums of the Silk Road, the Silk Road International Alliance of Art Museums, and the Silk Road International Library Alliance that have already been set up, China has also launched the International Tourism Alliance of Silk Road Cities. And we will continue with the Chinese government scholarship Silk Road program. 7th, promoting integrity-based Belt and Road cooperation. Together with its cooperation partners, China will release the achievements and prospects of Belt and Road integrity building and the high-level principles on Belt and Road integrity building, and establish the integrity and compliance evaluation system for companies involved in Belt and Road cooperation. We will also work with international organizations to carry out research and training on promoting integrity in Belt and Road cooperation. 8th, strengthening institutional building for international Belt and Road cooperation. China will work with its BRI partner countries to strengthen the building of multilateral cooperation platforms covering energy, taxation, finance, green development, disaster reduction, anti-corruption, think tank, media, culture, and other fields. China will continue to host the BRF and establish a secretariat for this forum.
女士们、先生们、朋友们，
Ladies and gentlemen, friends,
10年栉风沐雨，10年
the past decade has been a journey of dedicated cooperation and fruitful outcomes.
源自中
Belt and Road cooperation was proposed by
成果
China,
和机遇，
but its benefits and opportunities are for the world to share.
让我们谨记
Let us meet the expectations of the people,
永扛历史重担，
assume responsibilities entrusted on us by history,
继往
closely
开
follow the
来
trend of the
勇毅
times,
前行，
and press ahead
深化一
with
带一路
energy and
国际合
enterprise.
作，
Let us deepen
迎接
Belt and Road
共建
international
一带一路
cooperation and bring
更高
Belt and Road
质量
cooperation to a new
更
stage
高水
of
平的
higher
新发展
quality and higher level development.
推动实现
Let us
世界
advance
各国的
modernization
现代化，
of all countries,
建设一个
build
开
an
放、
open,
包容、
inclusive,
互联
and
互通
interconnected world
共同发
for
展
common
的世界
development,
共同推动构建
and jointly build
人类命运
a
共同体。
community with a shared future for mankind.
祝第3届
I wish the third
一带一路
Belt and
国际
Road
合作
Forum
高峰
for
论坛
international cooperation
圆满
a
成
full
功，
success.
谢谢大家。
Thank you.
感谢习近平主席。
Thank you, President Xi Jinping.
习近平主席全面回顾
President Xi gave a full review of the major achievements in Belt and Road cooperation in the past decade,
总结了
drew important experience from its successes,
倡导
and called on
继
all
续
parties
弘扬丝路经
to
济
carry forward the Silk Road
推
spirit,
动共建“一带一路”
ushering Belt and Road
进入高质
cooperation
量
into
发
a
展
new
的
stage
新
of
阶段
high-quality development
为实现世
and
界各
strive
国的现代
for the
化
modernization of all
做出
countries.
不懈努力。习近平主席宣布了
President Xi
中方
announced
支
China's
持
8
高质
major
量
steps
共建
to
“一带一路”
support
的
high-quality
8
Belt and
项重
Road
大行动。
cooperation.
我们坚
We are
信
convinced
共建
that
“一
Belt
带
and
一
Road
路”
cooperation in
必
the
将为
future
世界经济增
will
长
make greater contributions to
和各
global
国共
growth
同发展
and the
繁荣
common development
做出
prosperity
更大贡
of
献
all countries.
下面
Now,
请
I give
俄
the
罗
floor
斯总统
to His
普京
Excellency
阁下
President Vladimir Putin of Russia.
Distinguished President Xi Jinping, my dear friend, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank President of the PRC, Xi Jinping, for inviting me to participate in the third International Belt and Road Forum. The current forum is being marked by the 10-year anniversary of this really important initiative put forward by President Xi Jinping. It focuses on the future, aiming to form a fairer, multipolar world and the system of international relations. It is a global plan. I agree with the President of the PRC that the Chinese One Belt, One Road idea falls logically within multilateral efforts to strengthen creative and constructive interaction at the scale of the whole international community. We have repeatedly pointed out that Russia and China, as well as the majority of states of the world, share the aspiration for equal and mutually beneficial cooperation in order to reach comprehensive, sustainable and long-term economic progress and social well-being, at the same time respecting civilizational diversity and the right of every state for their own development model. The Belt and Road Initiative, based on such fundamental principles, links up very well with the developing in different regions of the world integration projects and processes. It is in tune with the Russian ideas of creating such integration framework that would fully ensure freedom of trade, investment, labor, and that would have interconnected infrastructure. It is in tune with our well-known proposal to form Great Eurasian Partnership as an environment for cooperation and interaction of those of like mind that will involve various integration processes. Belt and Road Initiative, SCO, Association of the Southeast Asia Nations, ASEAN, and Eurasian Economic Union that Russia is successfully developing together with partners in the post-Soviet space. It is important that we have a specific agreement between Russia and China about parallel and coordinated development of the EAEU and the BRI. We also have a non-preferential agreement about trade and economic cooperation between the EAEU member states and the PRC. To unite efforts to implement this agreement, we have established a joint commission. In February of this year, a detailed roadmap was adopted that in particular includes establishing interaction between the Eurasian Union and China in trade policy and transport corridor's digitalization. I'll point out that integration agenda, in the widest meaning, is an integral part of Russian national development strategy and strengthening our economic, technological and financial sovereignty, modernizing and expanding infrastructure. Xi Jinping just said that this is being developed in different regions of the world. Dear colleagues, friends, I would like to say what Russian Federation does in this regard. And I hope that this is important for many participants of today's meeting, because Russia is the biggest country in the world. That is why the connectivity of all the partners is relevant for the relations between the partners. I'll mention some of our promising plans that are now being implemented in practice and harmoniously complement other infrastructure projects in Eurasia, including those promoted through the BRI, and together allow to create a united transport logistic framework, diversify cargo flows through more effective, reliable, safe supply. In the European part of Russia, we form an international north-south corridor, and the President of the PRC has mentioned it. It connects Russian ports in the Baltic and the Arctic with the ports on the coast of the Persian Gulf and the Indian Ocean. Along the entire route from our northern city Murmansk to Bandar Abbas in Iran, there'll be, like experts say, seamless railway communication. Another Murmansk transport meridian from north to south will go through the Urals and Siberia. Its key elements is modernization of the central part of the Trans-Siberian Railway, including Western Siberian Railway, on the territories of our Omsk, Novosibirsk, Kemerovo, Tomsk regions, Altai territory. All of these are regions in the Siberia. There is also the construction of the Northern Latitudinal Railway, with the access to the ports of the Northern Ocean and the ports of Yamal in the north of the Krasnoyarsk territory. There is also a new North Siberian Railway from Khanty-Mansiysk Autonomous District to joining our Trans-Siberian Railway and Baikal-Amur Railway. At the same time, we work with our foreign partners to construct railway routes from central Siberia to the south, to China, Mongolia, ports of the Indian and the Pacific Oceans. And finally, another corridor from the Arctic to south is planned in the Far East. Its elements are being formed. They include a railway line from Baikal-Amur Railway to Yakutia, bridges across the Lena and Amur rivers that are big rivers in Siberia, Pacific Ocean Railway, modernizing highways, creation of deep water terminals in the eastern part of the North Sea route. All of these transport corridors from north to south, in the European part of Russia, Siberia, in the Far East, open opportunities to directly connect, integrate North Sea route with large logistic hubs in the south of our continent, on the coast of the Indian and the Pacific Oceans. As for the Northern Sea route, Russia does not just suggest our partners to actively use its transit capacity. I'll say more. We invite interested states to directly participate in its development. We are ready to provide reliable ice channeling, communication and supply. From the next year, the navigation of the ice-class cargo vessels along the whole North Sea route will be all year round. The creation of the mentioned international and regional logistic trade routes objectively reflects the profound changes that are happening in the world economy. The new role that is being played by Asian Pacific countries, Global South countries, and other centers of growth and development. Taking this into account, Russia, that is going to preside in the extended BRICS next year, has put forward an initiative to establish, in the context of this association, a permanent commission on transport logistics that, with the participation of BRICS members, our partner countries and other interested states, could focus on the development of international transport corridors in their entirety. I'll add that these topics are being discussed at the platform of Transport Week that is annually held in Moscow, and we invite experts from your countries, dear friends, to participate in this forum in the middle of November in the capital of Russia. In conclusion, I would like to express confidence that the BRI and just outlined Russian priorities, constructive and the most bold proposals of other states, including those participating today in the forum, will allow to find collective and truly effective solutions to the important and relevant regional and international problems. Dear colleagues, friends, every one of us, when we start something really big, we expect that it will be successful. But understanding the global scale that was initiated 10 years ago by President Xi Jinping, it is really hard to expect that everything will be well. But our Chinese friends managed to do that, and we are really glad to see these successes because it is really important for us. The President of the PRC just has presented a program of the future actions, constructive, dedicated to the common result. And I would like to wish success to the Chinese People's Republic, to the President of the PRC in their plans, and I wish everyone success in our plans and all the best. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, President Putin. I now give the floor to His Excellency President Zhomar Tokayev of Kazakhstan. Your Excellency President Xi Jinping, dear colleagues and participants of the BRF, at the outset, I would like to extend congratulations to President Xi and the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation. I really appreciate the hospitality extended to us and the excellent arrangements made for the forum. Today's China plays a critical role in ensuring global security. It is an engine of economic and technological advances. In a world of growing challenges, Belt and Road Initiative has become a popular international cooperation project and a platform for international economic cooperation. This project demonstrates the economic strength of China and its aspirations to reach an even higher level globally. The BRI has achieved a great deal, and this has been widely recognized by many countries. Your Excellency President Xi Jinping, Dear colleagues, Kazakhstan is where the BRI was first put forward in Kazakhstan. 10 years ago, it was in Kazakhstan. President Xi elaborated on this initiative of far-reaching significance. At the 10th anniversary of the BRI, we can say with pride that this initiative with great relevance has been widely recognized and has become a grand platform for international cooperation. This platform has become a platform for real, tangible cooperation. Thanks to investment along the routes, more than 150 countries from Europe, Asia, and Africa, through well-connected railways, roads, and sea routes, has achieved more extensive connectivity. The BRI has become a global public good that can help countries navigate this turbulent international landscape and meet global challenges. The BRI has helped enhance mutual understanding, connectivity, and friendship among the countries. There's no exaggeration in saying that the BRI has injected new vitality in the ancient Silk Road. So the BRI put forth by China is a mega cooperation project in the 21st century. Kazakhstan is at the heart of the Eurasian continent that connects the north and the south, the west and the east. It plays a unique role in implementing the BRI. As a landlocked country, Kazakhstan has a long common border with China. We are committed to building Kazakhstan into an international transportation hub. Now about 85% of the cargo moving from China to Europe goes through Kazakhstan. We are committed to transit transportation. Over the past 15 years, we have invested $35 billion for this. We have also launched a number of large-scale infrastructure projects, including the China-Kazakhstan Lianyun Port Logistics Center, the Hogorts Port, the transit highway from Western Europe to China's west, and also the railway corridor connecting China and Iran. In the spirit of our lasting friendship and our comprehensive strategic partnership, Kazakhstan will remain committed to advancing Belt and Road cooperation. In the next 3 years, we plan to build 1,300 kilometers of railway, and we will open the third cross-border railway along our border with China and establish new land ports, including Baku and Karjat. All these are vivid examples of how we have combined our large-scale economic projects with China's global initiative. The Trans-Caspian International Transport route has become a signature cooperation project of many countries. This transport avenue will link China with Central Asia and Europe and become a land bridge across the Belt and Road. Once implemented, this transport route will cut the time needed to travel across the land bridge and significantly reduce costs. Our two countries have signed intergovernmental agreement on developing the Trans-Caspian route, and I believe concrete results will be achieved soon. And I also suggest that we establish a strategic port partnership network, a center of logistics, and a postal center. We are also ready to work with China on shipbuilding. Kazakhstan is ready to serve as a reliable air bridge and a port for advanced airlines in the world. To further enhance trade between Belt and Road partner countries, there should be greater cooperation to align our customs policies, resist protectionism, and create favorable conditions for investment and cooperation. Cooperation under Digital Silk Road also opened up broad prospects for our cooperation. We believe a new model of digital cooperation will make tangible contribution to innovation-based development of all relevant countries. I believe in the next decade, Kazakhstan will continue to work for even greater progress in Belt and Road cooperation. I am convinced that under the wise leadership of President Xi Jinping, China, in the new era, will create even more glorious achievements and make even more cooperation outcomes in building a community with a shared future for mankind. Thank you.
Thank you, President Tokayev. I now give the floor to His Excellency President Joko Widodo of Indonesia.
His Excellency President Xi Jinping, Excellencies, leaders, ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, allow me to convey my congratulations on the first decade of the Belt and Road Initiative. And I hope that the BRI's synergy in infrastructure development can continue to be strengthened. And amidst an increasingly divided world, BRI cooperation must not be politicized. This requires our collective efforts in maintaining its core values in order for this initiative to become stronger and more impactful. There are three things that I would like to raise. First, synergy that provides ownership space for the host countries to run their national projects independently, because having a sense of ownership is very important for the sustainability of the related projects. Indonesia has a national project, the Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway, which was then synergized with the BRI and recently launched and operationalized. Going forward, we will also synergize the development of the Nusantara capital city, energy transition, and industry downstreaming. Second, BRI projects must be based on the principles of equal and mutually beneficial partnership and equipped with careful planning, the use of a transparent funding system, the use of local employment, and the utilization of domestic products. Third, the sustainability of BRI projects must be ensured for the long term and strengthens the economic foundation of partner countries. It must not complicate their fiscal conditions. In closing, I thank the government of the People's Republic of China and President Xi for their contribution to developing countries through the BRI. A Chinese proverb goes, Yikung Yishan. Persistence will manifest miracles. Let us fight hard together to advance economic development and realize prosperity for our people. Thank you.
Thank you, President Joko Widodo. I now give the floor to His Excellency President Alberto Fernandez of Argentina.
Señor Presidente de la República Popular China,
Your Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China,
señoras mandatarios y representantes de los distintos países,
heads of state and government, representatives of countries, good morning. It is my great honor to attend the third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation and address the opening ceremony. As we speak, hegemonies are declining, regional frictions still go on, multilateralism continues to be enhanced. Against such a backdrop, the Belt and Road Initiative, which was proposed on the basis of the principle of building together, has become a promising international initiative for global cooperation. For us, supporters of multilateralism, the BRI is a mechanism that promotes relations among countries. This initiative does not compete with existing regional mechanisms, but promotes synergy by bringing out the strength of participating countries. Over the past years, we see rapid technological advances and a serious climate crisis. All these require us to change the way we produce and consume. This is why today we are now seeing two parallel transitions, the digital transition and the ecological transition. While bringing to us risks, these two transitions have also given us vast opportunities. The Argentine government firmly believes that we need to take a cooperative attitude in response to the shared challenges and promote the economic and social development of all countries. This is why we support the three initiatives put forward by President Xi Jinping, namely the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative, and the Global Civilization Initiative. We also support the 8 steps proposed by President Xi Jinping in his keynote speech. Also, in realizing our goals, we see China as an important partner. In developing our bilateral relations, we have become increasingly closer partners with China, and this has always been our goal. In 2014, our two countries established the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. And during my term, Argentina joined the Belt and Road Initiative. We see that the political mission of strengthening bilateral relations continues to go on, and we have been working towards this goal. After signing an MOU on Belt and Road cooperation in June this year, we formulated a detailed cooperation plan which is quite ambitious. We hope that this cooperation plan can significantly enhance Argentina's strategic infrastructure. These days, we will establish a working group which will mark a new step toward implementing the cooperation plan. Argentina's diplomatic relations with China has traversed a fruitful 50-plus years. In recent years, China has become our important partner. During COVID-19, China was our brother in need. When the International Monetary Fund exerted pressure on us, when we had a hard time, China offered us financial assistance. China invested in us and created jobs for our people. These are not empty words, but real actions. China is now taking part in Argentina's energy transition by financing and taking part in the construction of hydroelectric plants, wind farms, and photovoltaic stations in Argentina. Take the hydroelectronic plant in Patagonia, now under construction, as an example. Investment in this project alone is close to $5 billion. This project will generate clean and renewable energy, which will significantly improve Argentina's energy mix. Chinese investment in Argentina's mining sector is also important, in particular in the salt flats from which lithium is extracted. Lithium has now become the core of our energy transition. We stand ready to deepen cooperation with China, increase the added value of Argentina's lithium, improve our export and production profiles, and create more decent and well-paid jobs in Argentina. I also wish to thank President Xi Jinping and the Chinese people for standing with us. As I said, these years have been particularly hard for all of us. For Argentina, it was especially so. COVID-19 and the war has shaken the global economy, and this has made normal exchanges among countries even more difficult. Decline in global trade is one example. At the most critical moment in fighting COVID-19, Argentina fought side by side with China. We got the support and help from China. China donated to us medical supplies. When some countries were hoarding vaccines for their own people, China was the one that offered us vaccines. The assistance we got from China has helped us to meet the basic medical needs of our people. Vaccines have been indispensable. They've helped us to return to normalcy after months of isolation and economic contraction. Such adversity did not stop our two countries from strengthening bilateral relations. We are very grateful to China. When the IMF asks us to repay the debt left by the previous irresponsible government, when a drought has caused our exports to fall, depriving us of foreign exchange of an amount equivalent to 3% of our GDP, China was there to give us financial support. Also, thanks to China's support, we've joined the BRICS mechanism. Countries in this mechanism reject hegemonism, respect multilateralism, and are rethinking international relations on that basis. I also support President Putin's initiative on strengthening BRICS cooperation. Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, again, I wish to extend a sincere appreciation to the government you led and the Chinese people. I hope that during this forum we will debate around the core topics you've proposed, such as reflecting on the current international trade, promoting the use of technologies with smaller environmental impact, developing the digital economy, deepening subnational relations, and strengthening maritime cooperation. These are topics that will help us to address the challenges we face. In order to successfully overcome them, we need peaceful and cooperative interactions among people of all countries. An old African proverb says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. At this critical moment, let us walk hand in hand and toward a fairer world that we all dream of. Thank you.
Thank you, President Fernandez.
下面请埃塞
Now
俄
I
比
give the
亚
floor
总
to His
理
Excellency
阿
Prime
卜
Minister
表示
Abiy Ahmed Ali of Ethiopia.
Your Excellency Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, Heads of International Organization, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, allow me to express my gratitude to President Xi Jinping and the government of the People's Republic of China for convening us today and for the warm hospitality that has been accorded to us. I'm very pleased to join here in Beijing for the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative. The BRI, which is a laudable ambition to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa, is a significant international cooperation initiative anchored in the principles of collective progress. I applaud President Xi for his vision in designing and launching the Belt and Road Initiative, as well as for the proposal of the 3 global initiatives of civilization, security, and development, aimed at building a community with a shared future. Excellencies, as a global community, we find ourselves in an ever-complex and crisis-prone world. We are confronted with a climate problem, structural shifts, and global insecurity. Concerted and collaborative efforts to address our common challenges have often helped us remain resilient. Hence, more than ever, we are called upon as global leaders to uphold the principles of humanity, justice, inclusivity, equity, and compassion in rising up to the occasion. I stand before you representing an ancient and historic civilization, Ethiopia, a country gifted with a robust and resilient population of over 120 million that drives Africa's fastest growing economy. Located in the home region, Ethiopia also serves as an important gateway between Africa, the Middle East, and the wider Asia. I also stand before you as a proud Africa that hails from a continent of 1.4 billion people, a continent with a thriving youth population that is propelling it to become a global economic powerhouse. Without a doubt, Africa is the next frontier market. Excellencies, historic relations between the African continent and China span 2,000 years. Sino-African relations can be traced back to the reign of Emperor Wu of Han. With the development of the Silk Road, exchanges between Africa and China became increasingly frequent and reached their peak during the Ming Dynasty. Admiral Zheng He's voyage to the western seas reached the east coast of Africa, bridging Chinese specialties such as ceramics and silk, and returning to China with many commodities. China has maintained diplomatic relations with numerous African countries since the Ming Dynasty. Sino-African ties today have grown exponentially, characterized by a commitment to mutually beneficial cooperation and respect for sovereignty. Through the BRI, these relations are delivering infrastructure developments across Africa, as well as helping to improve trade within the continent and with China. As the largest ever transnational infrastructure program, the BRI is therefore facilitating integration and sustainable growth. Large-scale investments in infrastructure and strengthened commercial ties have boosted the continent's economic development. With a rapidly growing population, the African continent is in high demand of sustainable and dignified development. And through BRI investments, many jobs have been created and livelihoods improved. Road and railway projects are linking previously unconnected places. People-to-people relations are being enhanced, both within and across countries. The principle of connectivity inherent in BRI has also offered African countries with alternative source of capital, technology, and skills needed for our modernization agenda. In my country, Ethiopia, for example, one of the remarkable BRI accomplishments is the construction of Africa's longest electric transnational railway, which runs through Ethiopia all the way to Djibouti. The line revitalized local and regional economies. It plays a critical role in connecting people and enhancing efficiency in the logistics value chain along the strategically significant Ethio-Djibouti corridor. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, once a source of raw materials, Africa is now realizing its potential and capacity. A continent that has been sidelined until now is harnessing the demographic dividend, leveraging its natural endowments, and rapidly becoming a global economic, social, and political powerhouse. In the global arena, the inclusion of African Union as permanent member of the G20 is a long overdue recognition of the voice of a continent with 1.4 billion people. With around 85% of global GDP and roughly 75% of global trade represented by the G20, the African Union's entry will significantly enhance the continent's ability to raise and collectively address issues of development that excessively affect Africa. As inclusivity is becoming a necessary feature of multilateralism, I have no doubt that such reforms we are witnessing in the global fora will extend to include African countries as permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. It has been said that the flapping of the wings of a butterfly can be felt on either side of the world. The African continent in particular has suffered the consequences of the climate crisis as well as interstate conflict in other parts of the world. As a result, we cannot be idle observers in forums that affect our common well-being since they shape our fate. Excellencies, we recognize that peace and development are two sides of the same coin. They are mutually reinforcing. Inclusive and equitable growth is essential to sustain peace, and a culture of peace is essential to enabling sustainable growth. Initiatives like the BRI, when fully implemented to potential, invariably foster peaceful development. The power of integration resides in enabling schemes that bring people closer to intimate knowledge and understanding of one another. Infrastructure used to bridge rather than divide offers value and builds trust. In a world full of barriers, I call upon all of us to build bridges to connect metaphorically as well as literally. As I conclude my remarks, I would like to highlight the proposal put forth by the President Xi during the recent China-Africa Leaders Dialogue held in Johannesburg. This includes China's initiative on supporting Africa's industrialization, plan for China supporting Africa's agriculture modernization, and the plan for China-Africa cooperation on talent development. I also support the 8 points proposed by President Xi because it mainly focuses on investing both on people and planet, which leads us to prosperity. These Africa-centered initiatives are foresighted investments that build a bridge to the Africa we want. I would like to emphasize that Ethiopia fully welcomes these plans and initiatives in harmony with our development strategy and 10-year economic plan to diversify our economy and forge our path to holistic prosperity. I thank you. Sheshe.
Thank you, Prime Minister Abiy, for your speech. I now give the floor to Secretary General Antonio Guterres of the United Nations.
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, congratulations. And thank you very much for your kind invitation and for your steadfast commitment to multilateralism, to international cooperation, and to the United Nations. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Third Belt and Road Forum recognizes a central truth. Without infrastructure, including infrastructure, there can be no development. And without development support, many developing countries will be starved of the infrastructure they desperately need. Infrastructure is the foundation of everyday life for people and economies. From drinking water and basic sanitation, to electricity, connectivity, and internet access, from public services like schools and hospitals, to modern roads, bridges, tunnels, harbors, and railways that keep people and goods moving. And yet, billions in the developing world lack access to these basic systems. And that is why this meeting and the Belt and Road are so important. The infrastructure crisis comes as people are facing a cauldron of challenges across our efforts to advance peace, sustainable development, and human rights. And this includes soaring costs of living, rising inequalities, and the existential threat of climate breakdown. Meanwhile, progress on the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement is slipping into reverse. We must find and fund ways to generate economic growth, create decent jobs, transform energy systems, and advance sustainable solutions for the 21st century. And infrastructure is a crucial pathway. We can and must turn the infrastructure emergency into the infrastructure opportunity. Now, the Belt and Road demonstrates that we have an historic opportunity to build modern, green cities, communities and transportation and power systems that place resilience and sustainability at the heart, that delivers services and decent jobs for people in a sustainable manner. And I see the Belt and Road Initiative's potential to make valuable contributions in two key areas of action. First, by advancing economic sustainability in developing countries. Let us look at the context they face. Many developing countries are confronting dramatic financial challenges, drowning in debt, and without fiscal space to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. It is time to make the global financial architecture truly global and fit for the 21st century. At last month's SDG Summit, world leaders endorsed a commitment to reforming the global financial architecture to make it reflect the world economy of today, not the one of 1945. And leaders also agreed that we can take action right now to promote effective debt relief mechanisms, including by ensuring that countries are not locked into unsustainable debt and channeling emergency financial support towards those countries that need it most. And leaders also supported an SDG stimulus of $500 billion per year. Now, in this context, dramatic context for the developing countries, the relevance of the Belt and Road Initiative is undeniable. It has included nearly $1 trillion in cumulative investments across more than 3,000 projects around the world. And I underline the importance of the decision of President Xi Jinping to align the Global Development Initiative with the Sustainable Development Goals. The second key area for action is by advancing environmental sustainability. The Belt and Road Initiative recognizes that infrastructure, for infrastructure's sake, is not enough. The Belt and Road is an important instrument to make key investments a reality, driven by clear domestic demand and in line with international best practices. Investments that enable resilience and adaptation across national and local planning. Investments that can help keep our 1.5-degree global warming limit within reach. And investments that don't leave countries with stranded assets and the polluted dead hands of the past. I recognize the efforts of the Green Silk Road Initiative to anchor investments in sustainable solutions, an area in which the UN is poised to support. Our Climate Solidarity Pact calls on big emitters to make extra efforts to cut emissions and support emerging economies to do the same. And the acceleration agenda I have proposed urges governments to move fast forward on their energy transition. We need developed countries reaching net zero as close as possible to 2040 and emerging economies as close as possible to 2050, according to the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities in light of different national circumstances. But developing countries will need massive support for a fair, equitable and just energy transition towards renewables while providing affordable electricity to all. Belt and Road investments can help drive this progress and support developing economies as they make the shift from planet-killing energy sources towards clean, renewable energy. We all agree that development cannot come at the expense of the air we breathe, the water we drink, or the biodiversity that defines our planet's health. Yesterday's shows showing the harmony between humankind and nature was a reminder to us all. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, together with the contribution of the Belt and Road Initiative, we can turn the infrastructure emergency into an infrastructure opportunity, supercharge the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, and deliver hope and progress for billions of people and the planet we share. Mr. President, with your permission and facing this august assembly, I feel, as Secretary-General of the United Nations, the obligation to say a few words about the catastrophe unfolding in the Middle East. The region is on the precipice. Immediately before departing for Beijing, I made two urgent humanitarian appeals. to Hamas for the immediate and unconditional release of the hostages, to Israel to immediately allow unrestricted access of humanitarian aid to respond to the most basic needs of the people of Gaza, the overwhelming majority of whom are women and children. I'm fully aware of the deep grievances of the Palestinian people after 56 years of occupation. But as serious as these grievances are, they cannot justify the acts of terror against civilians committed by Hamas on October 7 that I immediately condemned. But those attacks cannot justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people. Each of my two humanitarian appeals have a value in themselves. They are not bargaining chips, they are simply the right things to do. And I am horrified by the hundreds of people killed at Al-Ahli Hospital this same day in Gaza by a strike that I strongly condemned earlier today. I call for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire to provide sufficient time and space to help realize my two appeals and to ease the epic human suffering we are witnessing. Too many lives and the fate of the entire region hang on the balance. May the spirit of this meeting help those that need to find peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary General Guterres. The remarks by President Xi Jinping and the other leaders are insightful and visionary. They have drawn the blueprint for high-quality Belt and Road cooperation and have sent a positive message of our joint commitment to openness, inclusiveness, connectivity, and common development. I now declare the opening ceremony of the Third Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation conclude. Thank you.